The camp of Senate President Godswill Akpabio says that it has no hand in the removal of Senator Elisha Abbo, who represented Adamawa North in the National Assembly. Now, recall that Senator Abbo, during a press conference after the court judgment, stated that he was removed for not supporting the Senate presidency bid of Akpabio earlier in June. In a statement released by Senator Akpabio spokesperson Abbo, the outcome of any court proceedings is a function of the evaluation of facts and evidence within the province of the rule of law. Also, Monday, Ubani, a lawyer and a special assistant to the Senate President, maintained that the legislative arm of the government is to make laws and not for adjudication of cases, adding that Senator Abbo's claims is a product of a drowning man clutching at his straw. Monday, Ubani joins us this morning to give us further insights on this story. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Ubani, we'd like you to please unmute your device. Good morning. Can you hear us now?
Yes, I've done that.
All right.
Thank you. Good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Yes, you've gone further to talk about how the judgments or the analysis of the courts, whatever decision the court reaches, is based off facts, and would like you to further expatiate on that, because I don't know if you saw the package that played earlier. Senator Abbo does claim strongly that the Senate President has influenced his being sacked. Some have said that it might be a vendetta because he's spoken strongly against the leadership style of the Senate President.
The truth of the matter is that we will await the proper revelation from Senator Abbo. You know, we need evidence of that particular allegation, failing which we will advise the Senate President to take up a legal suit against Senator Abbo, because it's not very good for anyone to make a blanket claim and then try to denigrate the character of two very powerful institutions in Nigeria and get away with it. You know, that shouldn't be allowed. A distinguished senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is expected to be a bit circumspect. You don't go to town and begin to make such a very wide allegation without any shred of evidence. You know, it's clearly unfortunate. And I want to speak about the personality of the man called Senator Abbo. You know, I think that he should be a bit more matured. Look at the case, look at the facts of that particular case, and look at the judgment that has been given. If you look at the news report, it is said that his opponent lost at the lower court, and he went on appeal. And during that appeal, it was revealed that the reason why he went to court was non-compliance with the Electoral Act. And it was found out that several certified true copies of a document that came from INEC that was admitted, that were ought to be admitted below, was not admitted. And the court never paid attention to those documentary evidence. But at the Court of Appeal, you know, Court of Appeal is to review decision of the court below and see whether there has been any wrong evaluation of evidence. And if it is discovered, what the Court of Appeal will always do, or appellate court, is to set it aside. So what the court did was to apply Section 137 of the Electoral Act. And that section is an innovative section that had just been provided under the new Electoral Act. And that section says, if there is a claim for non-compliance, and there is evidence, documentary evidence, or certified true copy or original, that shows non-compliance on the face of that document, that the court should act on it and not wait for any oral evidence again to begin to look at that documentary evidence. Provided that the evidence, that documentary evidence has one, it was an issue of non-compliance, and I hope I'm being heard very clearly. Secondly, you have shown on the manifest evidence on that documentary evidence that it was non-compliance. There was no compliance at all by the respondent. Then, and it is certified true copy original, that the court should go ahead and act on that document. So, for the first time under this dispensation, the court, look at that section that has been innovative, because almost every other court will be telling you, you have to go and produce all the witnesses, at the polling unit to come and give evidence. Whereas you have really shown by documentary evidence non-compliance and all those irregularities that occur at the election. So the court said, having looked at it, now let's look at the lawful vote of the respondent. Let's look at the lawful vote of the appellant. And then by the time the court looked at it and calculated, they discovered that the respondent was actually the winner and not the appellant, and went ahead and and declared the respondent the winner and asked that a certificate of return be issued to him. And then one would have expected the lawyer of Abbo, if they have anything to discuss about that case, to go to town. But it's Abbo that is not a lawyer. That we can see that he was alone, not even any of his lawyers accompanied him in order to actually hold that press conference in which that wide allegation was made. It's clearly unfortunate. Clearly unfortunate. I never expected in my life, that a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria would go to town and make such wide allegation without any shred of evidence. It is clearly disgracing. Now we have written him, it's clearly defamatory. And
Mr. Ubani,
Godswill Akpabio will take action against it.
Mr. Ubani, but do you think, this is just out of nowhere? Because he could have blamed anything. He could have blamed the court, he could have blamed the weather, he could have blamed anybody. But he single-handedly chose to blame the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. And I want you to respond to that. The question really is there something, is there some issues going on between the both of them? Because in previous conversations we've had with Elisha Abbo, he did share, some, parts of the Senate that are not very comfortable with the way that the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, is running the Senate currently. And he's not the only one who has spoken about that. If you remember, even yesterday, Ali Ndume staged a walkout from the Senate, amongst other senators that clearly stated how they were uncomfortable with how Godswill Akpabio was currently running the Senate, passing bills without having the adequate number of senators voting on those bills, including money bills. And so, quickly react to that. Is are Senator Elisha Abbo's allegations just out of nowhere, or is there a specific issue that the both of them have? And also, other senators that are complaining, are they, simply just complaining out of nowhere?
I think you are mixing up issues. Why I'm invited is to talk about Senator Abbo's allegation against the Senate President with regards to the decision of the Court of Appeal to sack him. As to issue of how the Senate President runs the presidency, Senate presidency and all that. That may be another, topic for another day. But if you want me, you can call his a special advisor on media. He will be able to address that issue. But what we're here is that if Senator Abbo is alleging that Senator Godswill Akpabio influenced his sack by the Court of Appeal, one would expect a very definite pronouncement by him of saying this is how it happened. Is it that Mr. Godswill Akpabio is a member of the panel, or he has relation with him, or that he passed, influence through other monetary inducement or whatever? You don't just make, as I said earlier, such allegation without any shred of evidence or without producing any clue. You guys are members of the press. I want you guys to go to him and say, this allegation that you have made, can you give us, some clue? So
we will do that. We'll definitely do that, and we're going to be speaking with him today.
By that, you can be able to know the truth of this matter. And can you give us, you don't just come and make such wide allegation. We are members of it, and we want to dig deep into this and get the fact, and then expose, what is going on. Because this is our system. It's our institution. You don't just talk about judiciary down and talk about two institutions down and all that. So I am giving you a job now as a journalist.
No, Mr. Ubani, just to be clear.
Let me finish. Go and investigate that. But if we are talking about issue of his leadership style and all, that's a different ballgame entirely. We are talking about allegation that he influenced the decision of the court, and there is no shred of evidence. So find out from him, and then go ahead and probably unearth that, and then probably bring it to the entire world.
Well, just to be clear, we will be speaking with Senator Elisha Abbo today. It's part of the program that we're having this morning. But it's also important, as much as you're here to speak with regards to the allegations, it's still fair that we ask if you are aware of any issues that the both of them might be having, and the reason that he single-handedly is speaking on the Senate President, because like I said, any other person could have been blamed.
Yeah, to be sincere, I don't have any idea whatsoever if they have any issue. I remember that recently 2 of them went to Osarogie State. That was a particular ceremony that took place. That was 2 or 3 days ago. Senator Abbo was in the company of the Senate President to attend that program and all that. So for him to now begin to, say this, honestly, is just, pull down syndrome. And you know that if you are going to say such a thing, and I'm very happy you are bringing him, We want him to provide any sufficient evidence that will help the members of the press to really dig deep into this matter and know the truth. Because if he does not, he has clearly defamed and is very contemptuous of the court. He don't just, impugn anything without any evidence. That's my own take. If you want to say such thing, you'll be able to provide a clue to the members of the press. And this is, okay, do this, find out this. There was money that was given, there was any inducement and all that. Was Akpabio a member of the panel? I've asked that question. Does he have any relation there? Or did he in any way approach any person and say, go and talk to the justices? There are 3 member justices there, and then begin to now probably do anything that that actually make the sacking of Elisha very possible. Has he looked at even the judgment itself? That the judgment made specific reference to issue of documentary evidence, where there was so much mutilations, the court says so. And the thing is that the court applied section 137, where all the evidence that was given was that of INEC. Paper that was given was certified copy of INEC. And the court look at it and look at the scores of both parties and arrive at a decision. Why would you now want to call somebody and want to pull down somebody all because you want to probably, attract sympathy? No, that's not the way to go. And I think that the press should be able to dig deep. That's the only way I would say. Let them dig deep and find out who is actually lying and who is actually telling the truth.
We certainly look forward to speaking with Senator Elisha Abbo, who will be joining us much later on the Breakfast Central show, and then we can probe even further. But I'd like you to talk to us about conversations surrounding the independence of the judiciary. And I ask this because this has been a mantra that has been thrown around for a while. Recently as well, Senator Bokacho as well was in some measure implicated by a statement he had made, saying that he had had his wife do some favors for his friends. And the judiciary did come under a lot of criticism because of that. Also during the elections, the hashtag all eyes on the judiciary was trending, even though they were reacting very negatively to that. So what are your thoughts on conversations about the independence of the judiciary and maybe the likelihood of the judiciary being influenced by politicians? This is something that a number of Nigerians have expressed concern about.
We're in the 21st century, and I think that the judiciary must always live up to that century in which we're in. Everyone will want to, say anything, especially when there is information. And when they do it, my own take in all this is that investigation should always be carried out in order to clear the air. If there is any implication, then that person must go down. If there is anything that is wrong, because the judicial process is a very grave responsibility. You don't put anyone into judiciary. They determine life. They determine the life for somebody to live. They can also terminate one's life. So for somebody to be a judge is a very great responsibility. So it is an arm of government that is very, very important arm that must not be toyed with. The independence must be guaranteed. They should not be influenced. Because if the country is going to be good, it's about judicial system that works. So I agree with you. When the allegation was made against the former presiding justice of the Court of Appeal that retired by the husband, my take is that that matter should be investigated, because it's a grave allegation that the husband has made. Let it be investigated whether the woman may have influenced decisions, because of her political leanings and all that. So, but I don't know what has happened because that investigation was not carried out. So anything that is being done concerning judiciary is a very sensitive thing. I think that the proper thing always is to investigate and then clear the air. And if anyone is implicated, let the person go down. You can't have people that are bad in the judicial sector. No. If they do, they become pollution. They pollute the entire society. They pollute the entire country. You cannot have the stream of justice not flowing with justice, with pure water of justice, but injustice. No. So I am of the opinion that we must have a judiciary that is very independent. We must have a judiciary that is autonomous. We must have a judiciary that is self-funded. We must have a judiciary that is well, people with skilled, judges. The judges that will look at matters and be able to decide. This issue of going to court and matters will last for many years cannot be a very good judicial system. I've said it. In Singapore, what did they do when they had a situation like what we have now? They brought in many lawyers into the system who cleared the backlog of cases. Those who want to be retained in judiciary were retained. Those who want to go back to their practice were allowed to go back to the practice. But we have a situation today that we have many backlog of cases in the Court of Appeal, the appeals in the Supreme Court, and we're not taking any practical measures in order to actually, fasten the process and make our judiciary to be respected. So we must look towards it. I'm very close now to the executive, to the legislative arm. I'm going to contribute my own little quota towards issue of making sure that our judiciary works and function very well. My own little towards the Senate President and all, I will be able to. But if I find out that it's not going to work out and all that, then I throw in the towel. I know that the country does not want to make any progress and all that. Because one thing is to be criticizing these things, and when opportunity is given to you, try to do something in order to move the country forward. That's my take in all this.
And you've raised very important points as to what the judiciary must be, how independent, autonomous, what the judiciary should look like. But from your analysis, the judiciary that we have today, does it match the picture of the judiciary that you have painted that we deserve to have as Nigerians?
Certainly not, because what I see is cases that last for too long. This issue of justice delayed and justice denied is very true of Nigerian situation, where you have a commercial transaction that you want to determine within a short possible time so that you can know your rights and liabilities, and the case will take up to 15, 16 years. I was in the Court of Appeal last week, and then the matter was fixed for hearing. He's been there since 2019. And my lord, I was presiding, told us that he cannot take the appeal. When I asked why, he said he has many of the judgments that he has to write, and they are very few. And most of them are falling sick, and some of them are even in the mortuary. Two of them he mentioned from the Court of Appeal and the mortuary because of our work. And so he's saying that we have to do something as lawyers in order to enable the system to really help them to live, or the system will collapse. So I'm not happy that particular appeal was not heard. That it's now adjourned to next day. In some of the Supreme Court cases, some of the possible dates are 2026, 2027. It's as bad as that. We have cases of 2003, 2004 that is still pending in Supreme Court of Nigeria. So it is an issue. And we must all deliberately look at it and see what we can do in order to hasten and generate confidence in our judiciary, by other regionalizing our Supreme Court, that most cases can end at the regional level of the Supreme Court. Not every case will come to the Supreme Court of Nigeria. We can do that.
All right, Mr. Ubani.
We can also ensure that we have more justices employed or deployed to Supreme Court in order to increase the number. The number now is supposed to be 21. As I speak to you, I think there are 9 or 10. Meanwhile, they are not even the maximum number prescribed by the Constitution, 21. Meanwhile, we are saying that even 21 is even small compared to the number of cases before the Supreme Court. We can make it up to 50 justices of the Supreme Court, and then ensure that we have more justices at the Court of Appeal, more justices at the Federal High Court, more justices at the State High Court, so that we can lessen the burden of judges who are already in the system, and then quicken dispensation of justice. That is the way to work in a country. We are too big, and we have the resources to make this country one of the best countries in the world. But
Mr. Ubani,
our leaders sometimes drag their feet.
Yeah. We've, of course, been able to expand on, many angles to this conversation, the judiciary and all of that. But before we go, confirm your SA to the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio.
Yes, I'm the SA legal, senior, okay. Special advisor, not special assistant, special advisor to the President of the Senate on legal matters, yes. Okay,
brilliant. And once again, I would like that you speak, on what it might mean in the Senate if there are senators currently not comfortable with the way that he is running the Senate. If there are senators who have accused him of not going through the right processes with running the Senate, what would you say that might likely mean in the next few weeks or months?
No, I think that the Senate President must carry along all his the members of the Senate and then avoid a situation where some people will want to take advantage because anything Akpabio makes news all the time and all that, and it's always trending, listen. So I think that relationship is very key, and then people should not be critical of the person that they have elected as their leader. That's what I think. There must be a harmonious distribution, and when it comes to harmonious relationship, Akpabio is somebody we all know must always go out of his way to work with people that are with him. When he was governor, he displayed that. When he was minister, I've always followed him and all that. Now that he's the Senate President, I think most of these complaints and all that will be addressed, and then harmonious relationship once again established in order to move the country forward. We need to work for the nation. We need to move the country forward. So all these bickerings and some of these misgivings with the address and everything, so that I don't think that is anything. You know, the press always want to blow things out of proportion. There is no problem that Godswill Akpabio, His Excellency, have with any of his the members. All of them, I see them all coming around, you know, walking, smiling, and working with him and all that. So one or two times there is any small misunderstanding. I don't want the press to be blowing these things out of proportion. There is no disharmony between the Senate, that I know. And I know that Akpabio is somebody that is very, very, very friendly, you know, with almost all the members of the Senate.
Mr. Ubani, we certainly look forward to confirming a number of these statements that you made. We will be having Senator Elisha Abbo join us, and he'll maybe either be giving us evidence or tendering an apology like you have requested.
How I wish you brought us together. You know, I would have loved a situation where we've been in the program and listen to what his explanations are. But
we might walk around trying to bring you back.
Why can't he even have his lawyers, you know, come to do this kind of a thing? Because he's clearly not somebody that is learned in law to know the import of the judgment. You know, having his lawyer around him will actually listen. Maybe you can call me when it comes on the program. Let us know what the allegations are. What I just want him to do is to provide evidence of the allegation. That's what I would actually ask for.
Mr. Ubani, in the interest of time, we'll have to go, and we'll reach out to you if we can make that work this morning. But thank you very much for sharing your time with us.
That would be fine. Thank you very much.